Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting.
Nintendo.
You too will come to understand fear as I have.
Hey guys, it's Jag. Welcome back to the arcade. Today we're gonna start a brand new Let's Play. It's just another game, Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. Now this is a game that I've chosen for my Spooky Spooktober special, and one of the first GameCube games that I've ever played. I'll explain more about why I chose this game and why I enjoy it so much, but I really just want to get started. So let's load up my last save. And no, I'll explain more about that in a moment, but we're not going to load that data. We're going to start fresh.
Flesh, bone, bound together with the oddest magical incantation. This wretched book is where it all began so long ago. Before time, before humanity. I am Dr. Edward Roivas. I am a clinical psychologist. I am also dead. This is not my story, nor even the story of the Roivas family. It is the story of humanity. Like it or not, believe it or not, as you will. Your perceptions will not change reality, but simply color it. Humanity has been on the edge of extinction for 2 millennia. Ignorant of so much, and dependent on so few. The Guardians grow restless. Their time once again near. Whether by fate or misfortune, my family has crossed their path, and they didn't take kindly to it. Their attention turns to my granddaughter, for she is the last of my line. And the last hope for humanity.
Alright, so right off the bat, you get dropped into combat. I'll try to explain what's going on as simply as I can. Alright, press the R button to target an enemy. Use the control stick while holding it down to target a body part. You can't really lose this fight because you have no health meter. And these are the simplest enemies in the game. This is kind of a not tutorial. You'll find out more about the combat as we get deeper. but once you run out of ammo,
Remember me, Alex.
Hello?
Miss Alexandra Roivas?
Yeah, who's this?
This is Inspector LeGrasse of the Rhode Island Police. I'm sorry to disturb you, but there's been an accident with your grandfather.
I'll be on the next flight out.
Ah, Miss Roivas. I'm pleased to meet you. I trust you had a pleasant trip?
Yes, I suppose so, considering.
Yes, my condolences. This is most unpleasant. It's a shame we couldn't meet under brighter circumstances.
Yes, it is. Can we get this over with, please?
Of course. This way. But I must warn you, it's not a pleasant sight. I'm afraid there's not much to see. Miss Roivas, is that your grandfather, Edward?
Yes, it's him. He's wearing our family ring. I don't understand. Why are you showing me this? Can't you check dental records or something? What is wrong with you?
I'm sorry. It's my job, lady. You're the only living relative, and no, we can't check dental records. There's no head. None of this makes sense. There's no sign of intrusion, and there was certainly a lot of force used here. I have never seen anything like this in my 20 years on the force. We have no evidence except for the body, and what's left doesn't say much. We don't have a single clue.
Well, you better find out who did this. I am not leaving Rhode Island until you do. There must be some clue in this old mansion revealing what happened. I want answers.
So do I. I wish I had some.
2 weeks later, shocked by her grandfather's mysterious death and frustrated at the incompetence of the local police, Alex vows to uncover the truth. She decides to search the mansion, the place where Edward conducted his research. If there was a tie to his past, and possibly a tie to his murderer, it would be here. Alright, so this mansion is kind of the hub world of the game. It doesn't have much combat. It does have some, but not a whole lot. Most of the time you're going to be in here exploring and looking for the next chapter of the game. Other than that, you can run around by holding down the L button, so get used to that. And it's pretty linear at the start. You just have to figure out which doors you can open and which you can't. You're going to be doing a lot of puzzles. Let's examine this. So you see, this has a plate with a rune on it. A wooden plaque is fastened to the door, taking the place of the lock. A colored sigil is carved into the wood above a wide slot. The slot is just wide enough to insert a narrow blade. I didn't want to go back. As you play through the game, you will get keys to progress in the game. So there's not much we can do in the kitchen here. So let's head back. Overall, I really like this style. It's kind of Resident Evil-y, but in its own unique way. The table is set for one, Alex's grandfather. Edward's private nature meant that he never had many visitors, and this is the lonely evidence of it. Let's look at this. The illustration features a collection of strange line designs related to each other in a cyclical manner. There appears to be some significance to it, but it isn't particularly evident. If you can't see it very well, because it's kind of hard, the top one is red, the lower left is blue, the lower right is green, standard Triforce colors, and in the middle is purple. Each one is runed, and we will see those runes a lot during the game. I played this game for quite a few years, but it's also been years since I even turned on my GameCube, so a lot of this is going to be new to me. It's going to be interesting to see if I can get jump scared, because I don't remember there being a lot of startling events in this game, but what there are pretty good. I believe this is where I want to be. Let's look around. These books contain the history of the Roivas family, genealogy, birth and death records, deeds, and writs. The Roivas history is a troubled one. As Mediterranean immigrants, the early Roivas were shunned by other settlers in North America. Suspected of witchcraft, the Roivas were convicted during the witch hunts, forcing them into hiding. As memories faded, the Roivas rebuilt their lives. There's always a little bit of story to find. And I will find as much as I can. I'm probably not going to find it all. But this will be kind of an interesting gameplay. I would call it 100%, but starting out, you can't actually do that. This will find all the secrets, I suppose, is the best way to put it. And we can't do anything with that. We actually don't need to be in here, so let's keep exploring. All of these rooms do have significance later on. Let's back this way. I don't think, yeah, it's a fixed camera, so you can't turn the camera. It's kind of like Resident Evil 1 and 2 and that, only moving around doesn't suck nearly so hard. Nothing we can do with that. Oop. No, nothing we can do there. Okay. Now the real challenge is going to be, where do I go? Because starting out is a lot of exploration. Once you actually start unlocking chapters, you really start understanding where to go, and you can go directly to that room. Ah, the Roivas family tree. In the warm glow of candlelight, the Roivas family tree hangs from the wall. Shadows flitter across its surface, obscuring the detail. If one looks closely, the family's secrets are revealed. Alright, I don't think we can do anything with that now. Let's keep looking around. Why not? Did I try this door? Yes, I did. What about this clock? A beautiful carriage clock. The hands appear to be stuck, yet the clock continues to tick, with the time permanently set to 3:33. There is a key in the back of the clock, presumably for winding it. Should Alex look at the key? Yes. Alex picks up the desk clock and pulls the key from it. However, there is something odd about the key. It isn't for winding at all. It looks like a dresser key. We found a dresser key. Alright, our first item. Now, we need to find a dresser. Interesting painting. I think that's her grandfather. Stop that. Portraits of the ancestral Roivas line the foyer walls. Their faces reveal a dark, brooding edge. There's something about each one that gives the viewer an unsettling feeling. Alright. Now we got that, and I gave everyone a seizure. What can we do with this dresser key? More portraits. I don't think I can go in here. Actually, I believe now that we have this key, we can find a dresser through here. Maybe. What else is in this room? A brass frame mirror is set into the wall. The mirror's direction can be adjusted by means of 2 crankshafts set below it. A curious device. Is it related to the telescope in some way? Should Alex adjust the mirror? Sure, I don't think you can do anything because you don't actually have both parts. It's interesting that it would let you try, though. Alright, Alex, we need to find us a dresser. We can't go upstairs. Let's go back through this room. That was the fireplace. Go back through this room. And look around. Ooh, a clock. The looming grandfather clock seems to stand ominously in this corner, gazing on this empty room with an almost patriarchal air. Use left and right analog stick to adjust the clock hands. Alright. Should Alex adjust the clock hands? Yes. Alright, let's set it to the time we saw in the foyer. 3:33. Or as close as we can get. There we go. So now let's look in here. Can't really fine tune that clock. So do your best. Now this looks like something we're looking for. A glowing book. Let's examine it. Nothing bad can happen. But first, is there anything in this room that we care about? Lots. A small shrine of candles. Their placement appears to be very deliberate, matching the etchings on the table and the wall's illustration. The candles are unlit. A diabolical drawing of a stack of human bodies, each one cemented into place. What twisted psyche could have executed this drawing? Though disturbing, it is meticulously rendered down to the subtlest detail. The precise anatomy of fractured bones and the convolutions of spines and ribs entwine in a mesmerizing sight. This is one of those games that people really would love a HD remake of, just to see this detail. Ooh, a sword. An ancient Roman weapon, a gladius, is on display above the fireplace mantle. Another token of eclectic junk. Oop, I can pick it up. Pick up. You got a gladius. All of this is foreshadowing. This is a bizarre drawing of a cyclopean city, its immense architecture bathed in an unnatural fog. The detail is incredible. As Alex studies it, she can almost imagine the city's inhabitants. A painting of a jungle-shrouded building. It seems to be a temple in Asia, perhaps from Thailand or Cambodia. I don't like how examining things works. The reason it's flickering like that is because if you don't click detail, then you can move away from it with the control stick. Anyways, that's enough of that. A large, leather-bound antique book rests upon the cluttered desk. Should Alex read the book? Yes.
I had no knowledge of what was to come, nor did I care. How the knowledge changed me, it will also change you. As you read this, you will come to learn fear as I have. You too will come to understand, or you will perish. To think that once I could not see beyond the veil of our reality. To see those who dwell behind. My life now has purpose, for I have learned the frailty of flesh and bone. I was once a fool. Where is Quies Candamest? Where is Conservondain? Facusatis aquae sumat, et animus eorum confirma. Pugna huis, dia sit modo prima multarum, si inceptum conficiamus.
Quam primum, Centurio Augustus. I would like to compliment you once more on your battle tactics. Our enemies did not have a chance. Do you believe that it really exists, Centurion?
I do not doubt our Emperor's beliefs, or his orders. But if we are to retrieve the artifact, then we must be strong and patient. Come to us, pious Augustus.
Well, that sounds trustworthy. And now we're in the first dungeon, and I really would like to continue on, but that would make this video very, very long. I know there was a lot of story and a lot of dialogue to get through and a lot of atmosphere that we were setting, but we're gonna call it an episode here, guys. Thanks for coming out and joining me today. Next time, we're gonna take on the first dungeon with our first character, Pius Augustus. Hope to see you guys then. Y'all have a great day. Later.